I think the reason why update features are so beloved but important is because it is a place where you get a singular point of view. It holds the center literally because it does come on around the halfway point of the show. At that point, you can either really give the show the boost that it needs to take us to the finish, or you can really drag the whole thing down, like I have. Just kidding, I've been all bangers only. Nope, don't say that. I have found a really nice home at Update because starting out, I immediately knew I was never gonna play like the dad or the grandpa or the cousin. Like all of these generic archetypal roles can't quite fulfill those things in the same way. I feel like Update was just this wonderful haven for me.
No one's talking about the water! What did the autopsy say? They iceberged? No, they drowned, bitch. That's not me. That's water!
My first episode on cast, we wrote the first Trade Daddy. And it was like the thing that I think helped me like wipe the sweat off my brow because I was so nervous. But that is like the beauty of update features, right? If it makes it to the show especially, like that is something that you can really own in terms of its success. It really does rest on you. Trend Forecasters was a sketch that we originally wrote for Willem Dafoe, but then, you know, there's that little like brain tickle where, you know, you go, maybe that can be adapted to an update feature.
And out, movie posters as decor!
Movie posters as decor, get effed!
Are you a Band-Aid? Cause I wanna rip you up. Movie posters as decor, go to bed!
I mean, that is the flexibility of Update. Trying out really absurdist things that I think would need a lot of justification and buttressing and like connective tissue in a sketch, right? Where like, why is Mudang being sprayed down with a hose? It just kind of works. It's apparent in the Update feature structure and format. Stefan, being a perfect example, started out as a sketch where he was just pitching movies, and then it turned into him talking about nightlife.
And it helps reunite the big old Irish family.
And then it's just like effed up leprechaun situations.
The first ones, Guido Sarducci and Rosanna Dana, you get your first catchphrases from the show. It's always something. That was when you were like, oh yes, the familiarity that keeps coming back. And like, pre-YouTube, when we couldn't just hold these things up on demand, you would want to see these people show up again. You have Kristen stuff, Aunt Linda or Judy Grimes, Rebecca LaRue. It's pure, raw character. One of the goated runs of recurring updates is Cecily Strong's Jeanine Pirro, just heightening and escalating the physical comedy with every single iteration to go from cartoonishly falling out of her chair to then throwing her martini in Colin's face to throwing up her dessert wine to then singing My Way in a giant tub of boxed wine. I can't think of a better escalation than that. Fred Armisen is Nicholas Fane, where he's just reading headlines off a newspaper and just.
I mean, can you like? Look. This is the reason. Who said that? Was that? There's no way.
Apparently, allegedly, no cue cards. He didn't need them. He just riffed, and every time it was the funniest thing.
Tina, I think someone's at the update door.
Oh, it's Fired Apprentice contestant Omarosa, everybody.
I remember Maya Rudolph as Omarosa walking in, and then things kept falling on her head. On the first season of The Apprentice, Omarosa was the villain. There was a storyline, I don't know if you guys remember. She had a piece of plaster fall on her head. Whoever at SNL, that show, had a fun-ass time with just dropping things on Maya Rudolph's head. I remember taping that, bringing it to school, and showing my science teacher, Miss Fox. I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay, this is really difficult to choose just one, because normally you pick three for the show. I am going to choose Stefan, just because we're still saying New York's hottest club is.
Your mother and I are separating.
Spicy.
Kevin?
New York's hottest Halloween party is.
That was the perfect joke bag for things that could just live together. They weren't just random things, right? They were details that had to be like contextualizing each other, and that's what made you laugh.
Have you heard of Blackula, the Black Dracula?
Yes.
Well, they have a Jewish Dracula.
Oh, what's his name?
Sidney Applebaum.
A Mulaney hater classic.
Thank you, Sean.
We're still quoting it today. We're still watching them back.
Needless to say, this place has everything. Skunks, K-fobs, Cookie Crisp.
Dan Cortez.
There was an arc with that. He got married.
Stefan! I love you, Stefan! For Weekend Update, we are Seth and Stefan Myers. Good night!
And I love that as the journey of an SNL feature that started from a thing that didn't really work in a sketch, but then completely was off to the races as soon as it was in the right home. And Update features have been the right home for me. And with that, that's it.